Chosen one, stop right where you are. This is not a coincidence. This is not another video in your endless scroll. This is heaven's clarion call, a divine summons that has your name written in golden ink across the eternal courts. The angels have been released, and they are carrying a message so urgent, so personal, that it's shaking the very foundations of the spiritual realm. Can you feel it? That quickening in your chest, that stirring deep in your soul? It's not anxiety, it's awakening. Your name was called in heaven, and this moment right now is your divine appointment to step into the destiny you've been sensing all your life. You've been through storms that should have broken you, carried burdens others couldn't see, and faced doors that slammed shut despite your fervent prayers. But hear this truth: every tear you've shed, every rejection you've endured, every moment you felt forgotten was not punishment. It was divine preparation. The angels are moving, the scrolls are unfurling, and God is whispering, "It's time, my child. Your name has been called." This video unveils a unique truth. Your deepest fears, the ones that have held you back, are not barriers. They are the very keys to unlocking your greatest breakthroughs. Stay with me, chosen one, because the next hour will rewrite the story of your life. Picture a vast, radiant hall in heaven, its walls shimmering with the light of 1,000 stars. In the center, a scroll unfurls, its edges glowing with divine fire, and inscribed upon it is your name. Not the name the world knows, but the name God gave you before time began. This is no ordinary moment. The angels, with wings like molten gold, are dispatched, their voices echoing through eternity, proclaiming that your season of waiting is over. You didn't stumble upon this message. Heaven hunted you down. For years, you've carried a heaviness in your spirit, a longing for purpose that no job, no relationship, no achievement could satisfy. You've wondered why your prayers seem to echo into silence, why doors closed when you knocked with all your strength, why others seemed to walk into blessings while you stood in the shadows. But God is speaking now, and his voice is clear. You weren't forgotten, chosen one. You were forged in the fire of my purpose. The Bible declares in Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This isn't just a verse. It's a divine decree that your life was never random. Every struggle, every setback, every sleepless night was part of a celestial blueprint, a preparation for a calling so significant that the enemy trembled at the thought of you discovering it. Think about it. Why else would the battles you faced be so relentless? Why else would the opposition feel so personal? Because hell knows something you're only now beginning to grasp. You are a threat to darkness. Your life is a divine weapon, crafted in the secret places of God's heart. And the angels are now moving to ensure you step into your purpose. Let's talk about those struggles for a moment. Maybe you've lost a job you poured your heart into, or a relationship you thought would last forever crumbled. Perhaps you've faced health challenges that left you questioning if God was even listening. I see you, sitting in the quiet of your room, wondering why your dreams seem to slip through your fingers like sand. But here's the truth that will set you free. Every closed door was God's protection, not his rejection. Every delay was his way of building in you a resilience that no ordinary life could forge. Like Joseph, thrown into a pit and sold into slavery, you've endured seasons that looked like abandonment. But Genesis 50:20 reveals the divine perspective. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Your pain wasn't pointless, it was positioning you for a purpose that will ripple through generation. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. The metal is heated, hammered, and plunged into cold water, not to destroy it, but to make it unbreakable. That's what God has been doing with you. Every trial has been a hammer strike, shaping you into a vessel capable of carrying His glory. You weren't broken, chosen one. You were built differently. The world may have called you weak, but heaven calls you warrior. The enemy labeled you rejected, but God declares you redeemed. And right now, the angels are aligning resources, opening pathways and clearing obstacles because your name was called in heaven's war room. This is your spiritual awakening, the moment when you realize that your struggles were not the end of your story, they were the prelude to your divine purpose. But why now? Why this moment? Because heaven operates on divine timing, and your season of breakthrough has arrived. Psalm 102:13 proclaims, "You will arise and have compassion on Zion, for it is time to show favor to her. The appointed time has come." This is your appointed time. The angels are not just messengers, they are enforcers of God's promises, and they are moving on your behalf. Picture them now, their wings cutting through the spiritual atmosphere, dismantling barriers that have held you back. That financial strain you've been under? Angels are releasing divine strategies. That family rift you've been praying to heal? Angels are softening hearts. That dream you've buried under years of disappointment? Angels are breathing life into it. But here's the catch: divine opportunities require human response. The angels have been released, but you must act. Let's address the fear that's whispering in your ear right now. That voice saying, "You're not ready. You're not worthy. You've failed too many times." That's not wisdom. It's the enemy's last, desperate attempt to keep you from your destiny. Fear is a liar, and it's been guarding the door to your breakthrough for too long. Think about Moses, standing before the burning bush, stuttering excuses. "Who am I to go to Pharaoh?" He felt inadequate, unprepared, but God didn't ask for his resume. He asked for his obedience. Or consider Esther, trembling as she approached the king, knowing her life was at stake. Her fear was real, but her faith was greater. 2 Timothy 1:7 declares, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." Your fear is not from God. It's a phantom god, and it's time to fire it. Here's how you start. I'm going to give you 3 specific, practical steps to position yourself for this divine moment. These aren't vague suggestions. They're actionable, relatable steps you can take today to align with God's plan. First, write down one goal you've been delaying. Maybe it's starting that business, writing that book, or pursuing a calling you felt in your spirit. Grab a notebook and write it clearly. This week, I will take the first step toward. This act of writing is a declaration to heaven that you're ready to move. Second, reach out to someone you need to forgive or reconnect with. Maybe it's a family member you've been estranged from or a friend you've lost touch with. Send a text, make a call, or write a letter today. Forgiveness and connection are keys that unlock spiritual doors. Third, pray this simple prayer every morning for the next 7 days. Lord, show me the next step and give me the courage to take it. This prayer invites divine guidance and builds your faith muscle. These 3 steps, writing a goal, reaching out, and praying daily, are your bridge from fear to faith. Commit to them and watch how heaven responds. Now, let's pause for a moment. If this message is stirring something in your spirit, if you feel the angels moving on your behalf, I want you to declare it. Type, "I answer heaven's call" in the comments below. Your declaration is a spiritual marker, a signal to the universe that you're ready to step into your divine purpose. By commenting, you're joining thousands of chosen ones who are awakening to their destiny right now. You're not alone. You're part of a holy remnant, a family bound by purpose. Let's go deeper. The enemy has spent years convincing you that your pain defines you, that your failures disqualify you. But God sees something different. He sees a warrior whose scars tell a story of victory. He sees a vessel whose brokenness allows his light to shine through. Think about Sarah, a woman I met in a small church in Ohio. At 62, she thought her life was over. A divorce had left her financially strained and her children had drifted away. But one night, she heard a message like this one, and something shifted. She started a small Bible study in her living room, inviting neighbors who were struggling. That group grew into a community outreach program that now feeds 200 families a month. Sarah's pain didn't disqualify her, it qualified her to be a beacon of hope. Your story is no different. Your struggles are the raw materials God uses to build your testimony. The Bible says in Isaiah 61:3 that God gives beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. Your ashes, those moments of loss, shame, or defeat, are being transformed into something beautiful. That health scare, it's teaching you resilience and compassion. That financial drought, it's preparing you to steward abundance with wisdom. That loneliness, it's been God's way of drawing you closer to His voice. Every moment you thought you were falling apart was God putting you together for a purpose so grand it will leave the world in awe. The angels are carrying this truth to you now. Your past is not your prison, it's your platform. But here's where it gets real. This divine moment isn't just about you. Your breakthrough is a key that unlocks freedom for others. When you step into your calling, you become a living testimony, a proof that God's promises are true. Think about David facing Goliath with nothing but a slingshot and a heart full of faith. His victory wasn't just for him. It freed an entire nation from fear. Your victory will do the same. Maybe it's a child who needs to see you rise, a co-worker who needs your encouragement, or a community waiting for the gifts only you can bring. Your name was called in heaven because you are the answer to someone's prayer. Let's talk about hope, because that's what's burning in your chest right now. Hope isn't a weak wish. It's a divine force, a compass that points you toward God's promises. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Your hope is the evidence that your breakthrough is already sealed in heaven, waiting for you to claim it on earth. But hope without action is just a daydream. That's why those 3 steps, writing your goal, reaching out, praying daily, are so critical. They turn your hope into movement, your faith into reality. Don't let the enemy steal your hope with whispers of "it's too late" or "you're not enough." The angels are shouting louder, "Your time is now." Picture this. A door stands before you, radiant and towering, its surface etched with your name in letters that pulse with divine light. This isn't a door of wood or steel. It's a portal to your divine purpose, a gateway to the life God dreamed for you before the stars were hung. But this door has a timer, and it's counting down, not because God is impatient, but because divine opportunities are tied to divine seasons. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." This is your season, chosen one, but seasons shift. The angels have been released, but they won't wait forever for your response. Let's address another lie the enemy loves to tell, that you're too ordinary for a divine calling. Nothing could be further from the truth. Look at the disciples, fishermen, tax collectors, ordinary men who changed the world because they said yes to Jesus. Or consider Harriet, a woman from a small town in Georgia. At 45, she was a single mother working 2 jobs, barely making ends meet. But she felt a stirring to start a mentorship program for at-risk youth. She had no money, no connections, just a heart full of faith. she took the first step, renting a community center room for $50.00 a month. Today, her program has helped over 500 kids graduate high school and avoid the streets. Harriet wasn't extraordinary by the world's standards. She was extraordinary because she answered heaven's call. You are no different. Your ordinary life is the canvas God uses to paint miracles. If this message is igniting a fire in your spirit, if you're ready to answer heaven's call, type "I answer heaven's call" in the comments again. Let the world know you're stepping into your divine moment. Your declaration isn't just words. It's a spiritual contract, a commitment to the destiny God has prepared for you. And while you're there, hit the like button to spread this message of hope to others. Join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to stay connected to your divine purpose. Your engagement helps carry this truth to those still waiting for their breakthrough. Now, let's confront the hesitation that's creeping in. You might be thinking, what if I step out and fail? What if this door leads to more pain? Let me remind you of Peter stepping out of the boat onto raging waters. He didn't have a guarantee he wouldn't sink. He had a Savior who wouldn't let him drown. Jesus is your safety net, chosen one. Your step of faith doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be taken. Those 3 steps I gave you, writing your goal, reaching out, praying daily, are your boat to walk on water. They're simple, but they're powerful because they align your actions with God's promises. Imagine standing before that radiant door, your hand trembling as it reaches for the handle. On this side, you're bound by fear, doubt, and the weight of past disappointments. On the other side lies everything God has promised: abundance, healing, purpose, legacy. The angels are holding their breath, waiting for your move. Revelation 3:8 declares, "I have set before you an open door which no one is able to shut." No one can shut this door. Not the enemy, not your past, not your fears. But you must choose to walk through it. The angels have been released, but they're waiting for your yes. Let's talk about what's on the other side of this door. It's not just personal breakthrough, it's generational impact. Your obedience today will break chains that have bound your family for decades. That addiction that plagued your parents, your faith will end it. That poverty that stalked your ancestors, your courage will dismantle it. That division in your family, your love will heal it. You're not just stepping into your destiny, you're stepping into a legacy that will outlive you. Isaiah 58:12 promises, "Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins and will raise up the age-old foundations. You will be called repairer of broken walls, restorer of streets with dwellings." That's you, chosen one. You're the restorer, the rebuilder, the one whose name was called in heaven to change the course of history. But this moment isn't without urgency. The door before you is open, but it won't stay that way forever. Jesus warned in Luke 13:25, "Once the owner of the house gets up and closes the door, you will stand outside knocking and pleading, 'Sir, open the door for us.' But he will answer, 'I don't know you, or where you come from.'" Don't let this be your story. Don't let hesitation rob you of your divine purpose. The angels are moving, the scroll is open, and your name is echoing through eternity. This is your moment to act. Let's revisit those 3 steps because they're your lifeline to crossing this threshold. First, write that goal. Make it specific, like "I will start my business plan this week," or "I will enroll in that course by Friday." Second, reach out to that person. Don't wait for them to make the first move. A simple message like, "I've been thinking of you, let's talk," can shift everything. Third, pray daily for guidance and courage. It's your direct line to heaven's wisdom. These steps aren't just tasks. They're your declaration that you're ready for your breakthrough. Stick to them, and you'll see God move in ways you never imagined. As we approach the heart of this message, I want you to picture a battlefield. Not a physical one, but a spiritual war zone, where the enemy has fought to keep you small. Every lie you've believed, every fear you've entertained, every doubt you've carried was a weapon aimed at your destiny. But the angels are here now, and they're not just messengers. They're warriors, tearing down strongholds in your name. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. You've been fighting a supernatural battle, and you didn't even know it. But the tide is turning. The angels have been released, and they're clearing the path for your victory. Let's talk about someone like you. James, a mechanic from Texas. At 38, he felt stuck, working long hours in a garage, dreaming of starting a community center for troubled teens. He'd faced rejection after rejection. Banks wouldn't fund him. Friends called his dream foolish. But one Sunday, he heard a sermon about stepping out in faith. He took a leap, using his savings to rent a small space. He started with 5 kids, teaching them basic car repair. Today, his center serves 150 teens, with local businesses sponsoring tools and supplies. James didn't wait for perfect conditions. He acted on the stirring in his spirit. Your stirring is no different. Your name was called in heaven, and the angels are waiting for your response. If you're feeling that fire in your soul, that undeniable pull toward your destiny, type "I answer heaven's call" in the comments one more time. Let heaven know you're ready, and let the enemy know his time is up. Your comment is a battle cry, a declaration that you're stepping into your divine moment. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button to join a community of chosen ones, walking this faith journey together. Your connection to this message is no accident. It's part of God's plan. Now let's address the weight of this moment. You might be thinking, what if I'm not strong enough for what's on the other side? Let me remind you of Gideon, hiding in a wine press, feeling like the least in his family. Yet God called him a mighty warrior. Judges 6:12 says, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." God didn't see Gideon's fear. He saw his potential. He sees the same in you. You're not defined by your weaknesses. You're defined by God's strength in you. The angels aren't here because you're perfect. They're here because you're chosen. Picture that door again, glowing with celestial light, your name pulsing like a heartbeat. Every step you've taken, every prayer you've prayed, every tear you've cried has led you to this threshold. The angels are standing guard, their swords drawn, ensuring no force in hell can close this door before you walk through, but the choice is yours. Will you let fear keep you on this side, or will you trust the God who called your name? Romans 8:31 declares, "If God is for us, who can be against us? No one, chosen one. Not your past, not your doubts, not the enemy himself." With those 3 steps, writing your goal, reaching out, praying daily, are your map to crossing this threshold. Don't overcomplicate it. Start small, but start now. Maybe your goal is to take 1 step toward that dream job. Update your resume today. Maybe it's forgiving someone who hurt you. Send that message before you sleep tonight. And that daily prayer? It's your anchor, keeping you grounded in God's guidance. These steps are your act of faith, your yes to heaven's call. As we stand at this sacred moment, I want you to feel the weight of eternity. Your name was called in heaven not because of what you've done, but because of who you are in God's eyes. You are his masterpiece, his chosen vessel, his warrior. The angels are moving. The door is open and your destiny is waiting, but you must choose to act. The enemy wants you to believe you have forever, that another door will open tomorrow. Don't fall for that lie. This is your divine moment, and it's now or never. Chosen one, as you stand before this radiant door, its celestial light casting a warm glow across your face, the weight of eternity presses gently on your shoulders. This is not a moment to shrink back, nor is it a time to let the whispers of doubt drown out the thunder of heaven's call. Your name has been spoken in the courts of glory, and the angels, with their eyes like blazing torches, are watching, waiting for you to claim what has been ordained for you, since before the foundations of the earth were laid. The enemy would have you believe that this door leads to uncertainty, that stepping through it risks everything you've known. But hear this divine truth. This door does not lead to loss. It leads to legacy. It opens to a life where your every step echoes with purpose, where your presence shifts atmospheres, and where your courage becomes a beacon for those lost in the dark. The angels have been released, and they are not here to comfort you in complacency. They are here to propel you into your divine destiny. Let's peel back another layer of this sacred moment. You might be wondering, why me? Why would heaven call my name? The world has spent years convincing you that you're ordinary, that your life is just a series of random events, that your dreams are too big for someone like you. But God doesn't see you through the world's distorted lens. He sees you as his masterpiece, crafted with intention, imbued with power, and destined for impact. Ephesians 2:10 declares, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Those good works aren't small, they're seismic. They're the kind that rebuild broken families, restore hope to weary hearts, and rewrite the stories of entire communities. Your name was called because you were created to carry a unique light, one that no one else in all of creation can shine. Picture a lighthouse standing firm against a raging storm, its beam cutting through the darkness, guiding ships safely to shore. That's you, chosen one. Your life, with all its trials and triumphs, has been shaping you into a lighthouse for others. The storms you've weathered haven't diminished your light. They've made it brighter, more resilient, more piercing. Maybe you've felt like you're standing alone, battered by waves of disappointment or rejection. But those waves weren't sent to destroy you. They were sent to strengthen your foundation. Now, as the angels move, your light is about to reach further than you ever imagined, touching lives you may never meet, guiding souls you'll only know in eternity. Let's talk about the lies that have kept you tethered to the shore of your comfort zone. The enemy has whispered that your past mistakes make you unworthy, that your current circumstances limit your future, that your lack of resources disqualifies your calling. But the Bible shatters those lies with a single truth. God's power is not limited by human weakness. Look at Paul, once a persecutor of Christians, transformed into an apostle whose words still echo through centuries. Acts 9:15 says, "This man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name to the Gentiles and their kings, and to the people of Israel." Paul's past didn't disqualify him, it authenticated his transformation. Your past does the same. Those moments you're ashamed of, they're the raw materials of your testimony. Those resources you lack, they're invitations for God to show his provision. The angels are carrying this truth to you now. Your limitations are not roadblocks. They're runways for God's miracles. Now let's shift to the impact of your obedience. When you step through this door, you're not just changing your own life. You're altering the trajectory of others. Imagine a single pebble dropped into a still lake, its ripples spreading far beyond the point of impact. Your yes to God is that pebble, and its ripples will touch lives you can't yet see. Consider Maria, a teacher from a small town in Colorado. At 50, she felt her life was unremarkable, teaching the same lessons year after year. But one evening, she felt a stirring to start a free tutoring program for struggling students. With no budget, she used her own classroom after hours. One of her first students, a boy named Luis, was on the verge of dropping out. Maria's encouragement helped him graduate, and today, Luis is a doctor serving his community. Maria's small act of obedience rippled into a life saved, a family transformed, a community strengthened. Your obedience will do the same. The angels are aligning connections, resources, and opportunities, but they need your movement to complete the circuit. And if this message is igniting a spark in your soul, if you feel the angels stirring the waters of your spirit, declare it now. Type "My light will shine" in the comments below. This isn't just a comment, it's a prophetic act, a signal to heaven that you're ready to let your divine purpose illuminate the world. By sharing this declaration, you're joining a global family of chosen ones, each stepping into their unique calling. Your voice matters, and your light will inspire others to shine theirs. Let's address the temptation to wait for a better time. The enemy loves to sell you the myth of tomorrow, that you'll be more ready, more confident, more equipped later. But divine timing doesn't wait for human convenience. Think about Noah building an ark under a cloudless sky. Genesis 6:22 says, Noah did everything just as God commanded him. He didn't wait for rain to confirm God's word, he acted on faith. Your door is open now, and waiting risks missing it entirely. The angels are moving in this season, not the next. Your 3 steps: writing your goal, reaching out, praying daily, are your ark, your act of faith. Don't let the absence of rain keep you from building what God has called you to. Now imagine the other side of this door. It's not a place of endless ease, but a realm of endless impact. You'll face challenges, yes, but they'll be the kind that forge you into a leader, a healer, a world changer. Picture yourself standing in a room filled with people whose lives you've touched. Children you've mentored, families you've reconciled, communities you've uplifted. This is the legacy waiting for you. Philippians 1:6 promises, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." God didn't call your name to abandon you halfway. He's committed to your journey, and the angels are his guarantee. Let's confront one final lie, that you're alone in this. You're not. Right now, thousands of chosen ones are hearing this message, feeling the same stirring, facing the same fears. You're part of a holy remnant, a divine army rising across the globe. From quiet suburbs to bustling cities, from small churches to solitary prayer rooms, God's people are awakening. The angels are weaving a tapestry of connection, linking you with others who share your purpose. Your 3 steps, writing that goal, reaching out, praying daily, are not solitary acts. They're threads in a larger story, one that will outlive you and echo through eternity. As you stand before this door, feel the warmth of its light, hear the hum of angelic voices, sense the pulse of divine purpose. Your name was called in heaven, not as a suggestion, but as a command. The angels have been released, not to watch you hesitate, but to cheer you forward. Your fears are not your captors, they're your keys, unlocking the very breakthroughs you've been praying for. Those 3 steps are your map, simple yet profound, guiding you from this side of the door to the other. The choice is yours, but the moment is now. Heaven is holding its breath, and your next move will determine whether you step into the destiny written in the stars or linger in the shadows of what could have been. Chosen one, as you linger before this radiant door, its golden light pulsing with the heartbeat of eternity, the air around you hums with divine anticipation. The angels, their wings shimmering like molten fire, stand poised, their gazes fixed on you, not with judgment, but with fierce expectation. Your name, spoken in heaven's war room, carries a weight that reverberates through the spiritual realm, a sound that makes darkness tremble and hope rise. This moment is not a pause in your story. It's the hinge upon which your entire future swings. The enemy would have you believe that stepping through this door is reckless, that staying where you are is safer, that your dreams are too fragile to survive the journey. But let me unveil a truth that will shatter those illusions. This door doesn't lead to fragility, it leads to fortitude. It opens to a life where your faith becomes a fortress, your purpose a flame, and your influence a force that reshapes the world around you. The angels have been released, and they are not here to coddle your doubts. They are here to crown your courage. Let's dive into the sacred mystery of this moment. You might be asking, what makes this door different? Why is this the moment heaven has chosen to call my name? The answer lies in the divine orchestration of your life. Every step you've taken, every wound you've carried, every prayer you've whispered in the dark, has been leading you to this threshold. The Bible reveals in Romans 8:28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Your life is not a series of accidents. It's a symphony composed by the Creator himself, and this door is the crescendo. The angels are the conductors, ensuring every note of your journey aligns with God's perfect plan. Your struggles weren't random. They were rehearsals for the masterpiece you're about to live. Picture a tapestry, its threads woven with colors of joy, sorrow, victory, and defeat. Each thread represents a moment in your life. The late nights of worry, the mornings of hope, the rejections that stung, the small wins that kept you going. Alone, these threads seem chaotic, but in God's hands, they form a breathtaking design. This door is the moment you step back and see the full picture, the moment you realize your pain was not punishment, but part of a pattern that points to your divine purpose. The angels are holding this tapestry now, presenting it to you as evidence that nothing in your life has been wasted. That betrayal you endured, it taught you discernment. That financial struggle, it built your trust in God's provision. That dream you thought died, it's been resurrected, waiting for you on the other side of this door. Let's confront the resistance you're feeling. There's a part of you that wants to step forward, but another part clings to the familiar, to the safety of what you know. The enemy thrives in that tension, whispering that you're not enough, not spiritual enough, not talented enough, not brave enough. But here's a divine secret. Your not enough is exactly where God's more than enough shines brighter. Think of Deborah, a prophetess and judge in Judges 4. She wasn't a warrior by training, yet God called her to lead Israel into battle against a formidable enemy. Her lack of military experience didn't disqualify her, it amplified God's power through her obedience. Your perceived shortcomings are not barriers. They're invitations for God to show up in ways that leave no doubt of his presence. The angels are whispering this truth. Your weakness is the canvas for God's strength. Now, let's explore the ripple effect of your courage. When you step through this door, you're not just transforming your own life. You're igniting a chain reaction of transformation in others. Imagine a single spark landing in a field of dry grass, setting off a blaze that cannot be contained. Your decision to answer heaven's call is that spark. Your obedience will inspire someone else to take their first step. Your faith will embolden another to trust again. Your breakthrough will prove to a weary world that God's promises are real. Consider Thomas, a carpenter from a small village in North Carolina. At 55, he felt his life was stuck, repairing furniture in a cramped workshop. But he sensed a call to teach woodworking to young men in his community, many of whom lacked direction. With no funding, he started with 2 students in his garage. Word spread, and now his program trains dozens, giving them skills and purpose. Thomas's small yes sparked a fire that's changing lives. Your yes will do the same. The angels are aligning the people, places, and resources you'll need, but they're waiting for your spark. If this message is setting your spirit ablaze, if you feel the angels fanning the flames of your divine purpose, declare it now. Type "My spark ignites" in the comments below. This declaration is a holy act, a signal to heaven that you're ready to set your world alight with God's glory. By commenting, you're joining a global movement of chosen ones, each a spark in God's eternal fire. Your voice is a catalyst, encouraging others to ignite their own purpose. Let's address the myth of isolation. You might feel alone, as if you're the only one standing at this door, the only one wrestling with these fears. But you're not. Right now, across continents and cultures, others are hearing this message, feeling the same pull, facing the same choice. You're part of a divine collective, a remnant chosen to rise in this hour. Hebrews 12:1 reminds us, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles." That cloud of witnesses isn't just in heaven, it's here on earth, in the hearts of those who are stepping forward alongside you. The angels are weaving connections, linking you with souls who will walk this journey with you. Your 3 steps, writing your goal, reaching out, praying daily, are not solitary acts. They're bridges to a community of purpose, a family bound by faith. Now, imagine the legacy you're about to build. This door doesn't just lead to personal success, it leads to generational transformation. Your obedience today will plant seeds that bloom long after you're gone. Think of Ruth, a Moabite widow who chose to follow Naomi and her God. Ruth 1:16 records her vow, "Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God." Her decision wasn't just about her survival, it positioned her in the lineage of Jesus. Your decision to step through this door will position you in a lineage of impact, affecting your children, your grandchildren, and generations you'll never meet. The angels are carrying this promise: your legacy will outshine your struggles. Let's dismantle the fear of failure that's lurking in the shadows. You might be thinking, what if I step out and fall? What if my efforts don't succeed? But failure in God's economy is not the same as the world's. Every step you take in faith is a victory, every attempt a testimony. Consider Peter, who walked on water, but began to sink when he saw the waves. Matthew 14:31 says, "Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him." Your steps may falter, but Jesus is there to catch you. Your 3 steps, writing that goal, reaching out, praying daily, are your walk on water. They're not about perfection, they're about trust. The angels are ensuring that even your stumbles lead you closer to your destiny. As you stand before this door, feel the warmth of its light, hear the rustle of angelic wings, sense the gravity of this divine moment. Your name was called in heaven, not as a question, but as a proclamation. The angels have been released, not to watch you waver, but to guide you forward. Your fears are not your chains. They're your catalysts, propelling you toward the breakthroughs you've been destined for. Those 3 steps are your compass, guiding you from hesitation to action. The choice is yours, but the hour is urgent. Heaven is watching, and your next move will determine whether you embrace the destiny etched in eternity or remain on the sidelines of what might have been. Chosen one, as you stand at this sacred threshold, the radiant door before you glowing with a light that seems to pulse in rhythm with your own heartbeat, the spiritual atmosphere crackles with divine energy. The angels, their presence like a celestial chorus, surround you, their voices a soft hum that resonates deep within your soul. Your name, declared in heaven's eternal council, carries a power that shakes the foundations of doubt and ignites the embers of your purpose. This is not a moment to hesitate, nor is it a time to let the shadows of uncertainty dim the brilliance of your calling. The enemy would have you believe that this door leads to uncharted risks, that staying in the familiar is wiser, that your potential is too fragile to withstand the journey ahead. But let me unveil the truth that will shatter those deceptions. This door doesn't lead to vulnerability. It opens to a life where your faith becomes a force, your story a spark, and your influence a tidal wave that reshapes the destinies of those around you. The angels have been released, and they are not here to soothe your fears. They are here to summon your strength. Let's step deeper into the divine significance of this moment. You might be wondering, what is the scope of this calling? How can someone like me, with my flaws and failures, be chosen for something so grand? The answer lies in the very nature of God's selection. He doesn't choose the polished or the perfect. He chooses the willing, the broken, the ones who dare to trust Him despite their imperfection. The Bible affirms this in 1 Corinthians 1:27. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. Your flaws are not your disqualification, they are your distinction. They are the cracks through which God's light pours, illuminating the path for others who feel unworthy. The angels are carrying this revelation to you now. Your imperfections are the very tools God uses to craft your eternal impact. Imagine a mosaic, its beauty formed from shattered pieces of glass, each fragment catching the light in a unique way. Your life is that mosaic. Each broken moment, every loss, every mistake, every unmet expectation, a piece that God has carefully placed. Alone, these fragments may seem meaningless, but together they create a masterpiece that reflects His glory. This door is the moment you see your life as God sees it, not as a collection of failures, but as a work of art designed to inspire awe. That moment you felt abandoned, it's a piece that teaches empathy. That failure you can't forget, it's a fragment that builds humility. That dream you thought was lost, it's the centerpiece, glowing with renewed purpose. The angels are holding this mosaic before you, inviting you to embrace its beauty and step into the role you were created for. Let's confront the inertia that threatens to keep you rooted in place. There's a voice in your mind, subtle but persistent, suggesting that this moment is too big, that you're not equipped, that someone else is better suited for this calling. That voice isn't yours, it's the enemy's, cloaked in false humility, designed to paralyze your progress. But here's a divine truth. Your readiness is not measured by your resources or your resume, it's measured by your reliance on God. Think of David, a shepherd boy facing a giant with nothing but a sling and 5 stones. 1 Samuel 17:45 records his bold declaration, "I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." David's strength wasn't in his skill, it was in his surrender to God's power. Your strength is the same. Your 3 steps, writing your goal, reaching out, praying daily, are your sling and stones, simple tools that become supernatural in God's hands. The angels are amplifying this truth. Your reliance on God transforms your ordinary into extraordinary. Now, let's explore the eternal stakes of this moment. When you step through this door, you're not just altering your own path, you're anchoring the futures of others. Your obedience is a lighthouse beam, cutting through the fog of despair for those lost in their own storms. Imagine a single act of courage sparking a movement, like a candle flame passed from one wick to another until an entire room is ablaze. Your decision to answer heaven's call is that candle. Consider Anna, a nurse from a small town in Oregon. At 42, she felt unfulfilled, her days consumed by routine. But she sensed a call to volunteer at a local shelter for survivors of domestic violence. With no formal counseling training, she started by listening, offering comfort. One woman, Emily, found the strength to leave an abusive relationship because of Anna's kindness. Emily now runs a support group, helping dozens more. Anna's small act of obedience lit a flame that's still spreading. Your obedience will do the same. The angels are orchestrating encounters, aligning you with souls who need your light, but they need your courage to ignite the spark. If this message is stirring a holy fire in your spirit, if you feel the angels kindling the embers of your divine purpose, declare it now. Type, "My flame is rising," in the comments below. This is more than a comment. It's a prophetic proclamation, a signal to heaven that you're ready to let your calling blaze brightly. By sharing this declaration, you're joining a global family of chosen ones, each aflame in God's eternal light. Your voice is a beacon, inspiring others to let their own flames rise. Let's dispel the illusion of insignificance. You might feel like your life is too small, your influence too limited to make a difference. But God specializes in using the small to achieve the spectacular. Think of the boy in John 6:9, who offered his 5 loaves and 2 fish to Jesus. His offering seemed insignificant, yet it fed thousands. Your life offered to God has the same potential. Your 3 steps, writing that goal, reaching out, praying daily, are your loaves and fish. Small acts that multiply in God's hands. The angels are ensuring that your offering, no matter how modest, becomes a miracle for others. Don't underestimate the power of your yes. It's the seed of a harvest that will feed generations. Now imagine the authority you'll carry on the other side of this door. This isn't about fleeting success. It's about lasting sovereignty, the kind that comes from walking in alignment with God's will. Picture yourself speaking with confidence, acting with clarity, loving with courage. This is the version of you that heaven has always seen, the one who commands atmospheres, breaks chains, and builds bridges. Zechariah 4:6 declares, "Not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord Almighty." Your authority comes not from your own strength, but from the Spirit moving through you. The angels are equipping you for this role, delivering divine strategies, supernatural connections, and unshakable peace. Your 3 steps are your training ground, preparing you to wield this authority with wisdom and grace. Let's address the temptation to compare your journey to others. You might see others stepping into their blessings, their doors swinging wide, while yours feels heavy. But comparison is a thief, stealing your focus from the unique path God has crafted for you. Galatians 6:4 says, "Each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone else." Your door is yours alone, designed for your specific purpose. The angels are guarding its uniqueness, ensuring no one else can claim what's meant for you. Your 3 steps are tailored to your journey, guiding you to a destiny that no one else can fulfill. As you stand before this door, its light washing over you like a divine embrace, hear the angel's song, feel the weight of your calling. Sense the urgency of this moment. Your name was called in heaven, not as a whisper, but as a shout. The angels have been released, not to watch you falter, but to lift you higher. Your fears are not your limits, they're your launch pad, propelling you toward the victories you were born for. Those 3 steps are your pathway, simple yet sacred, leading you from doubt to destiny. The choice is yours, but the time is now. Heaven is leaning in, and your next move will determine whether you claim the crown written in the stars or linger in the echoes of what could have been. Chosen one, as you stand before this radiant door, its celestial glow bathing you in a light that feels both ancient and alive. The angels encircle you, their presence a quiet roar of divine affirmation. Your name, etched in heaven's eternal ledger, resounds through the corridors of glory, a declaration that sets the spiritual realm ablaze. This is not a moment to waver, nor is it a time to let the whispers of hesitation dull the clarion call of your destiny. The enemy would have you believe that this door leads to untested waters, that clinging to the known is wiser, that your heart is too fragile to bear the weight of what lies beyond. But let me unveil a truth that will dismantle those falsehoods. This door doesn't lead to fragility, it leads to freedom. It opens to a life where your faith becomes a river, your purpose a lighthouse, and your legacy a monument that stands through the age. The angels have been released, and they are not here to cradle your uncertainties. They are here to catapult you into your divine calling. Let's plunge into the sacred depth of this moment. You might be asking, what is the true cost of stepping through this door? What will it demand of me? The answer is both simple and profound. It demands your surrender, not to defeat, but to divine design. Surrendering to God's plan means letting go of the need to control the outcome, releasing the weight of past regrets, and trusting that every step forward is guided by His hand. The Bible illuminates this in Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. This door is your invitation to trust, to submit, to let God chart the course. The angels are bearing this promise. Your surrender is not a loss, it's the key that unlocks your liberation. Picture a river, its waters carving through stone, unstoppable in its flow, toward the sea. Your life is that river, each trial and triumph a current that has shaped your path. The moments you thought were detours, those seasons of waiting, those nights of questioning, those dreams deferred, were not obstacles but channels guiding you to this very threshold. This door is where the river of your life meets the ocean of God's purpose, where your individual story merges with His eternal narrative. The angels are standing at this confluence, their wings stirring the waters, beckoning you to release your grip on the shore and let the current carry you. That fear you've held onto, it's an anchor you no longer need. That regret you've carried, it's a weight that sinks with your surrender. The angels are singing over you now, their melody a reminder that freedom awaits on the other side. Let's confront the illusion of permanence that keeps you tethered. The enemy whispers that your current struggles, your financial strain, your fractured relationships, your unfulfilled dreams are your forever reality. But this is a lie, crafted to keep you from crossing the threshold. The truth is, your circumstances are temporary, but your calling is eternal. Think of Lazarus, lying dead in a tomb for 4 days. John 11:43 records Jesus' command, "Chosen one, as you stand before this radiant door, its celestial glow weaving a tapestry of light around you, the angels stand sentinel, their wings casting a soft hum that resonates with the pulse of eternity. Your name, proclaimed in heaven's sacred halls, carries a vibration that stirs the spiritual realm, dismantling doubts and awakening destiny. This is not a moment to falter, nor is it a time to let the echoes of fear mute the divine summons ringing in your soul. The enemy would have you believe that this door leads to uncharted peril, that the safety of the familiar outweighs the promise of the unknown, that your spirit is too weary to embrace what lies ahead. But let me unveil a truth that will shatter those deceptions. This door doesn't lead to peril, it leads to power. It opens to a life where your faith becomes a scepter, your purpose a beacon, and your influence a current that shifts the tides of history. The angels have been released, and they are not here to pacify your hesitations. They are here to ignite your divine authority. Let's dive into the sacred essence of this moment. You might be wondering, what does this power look like? How can someone like me, with my doubts and scars, wield anything resembling divine authority? The answer lies in the paradox of God's kingdom. True power is born not in perfection, but in partnership with Him. When you step through this door, you're not stepping into self-reliance. You're stepping into a divine alliance where God's strength flows through your surrender. The Bible affirms this in 1 Corinthians 12:9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Your doubts, your scars, your moments of feeling inadequate are not liabilities. They are the very conduits through which God's power surges. The angels are delivering this revelation. Your weaknesses are not your shame. They are the vessels of your divine empowerment. Imagine a scepter, its surface etched with the stories of your life, glowing with the authority of heaven's decree. This scepter is not forged from gold or jewel, but from the raw materials of your journey. Every moment of perseverance, every tear shed in faith, every choice to rise after falling. This door is the moment you claim that scepter, the moment you realize that God has been entrusting you with authority, not despite your struggles, but because of them. That time you forgave when it hurt. It's a jewel in your scepter, radiating mercy. That season you pressed on through despair. It's a groove carved deep, holding resilience. That dream you clung to against all odds. It's the crown of your scepter, shining with hope. The angels are presenting this scepter to you now, urging you to grasp it and wield it with the confidence of one chosen by the King of Kings. Let's confront the subtle lure of delay that tugs at your heart. There's a voice suggesting, wait until you're stronger, until the timing feels perfect, until you're certain of the path. But this voice is a trap, spun by the enemy to keep you from claiming your power. Divine moments are not governed by human calendars. They are orchestrated by God's eternal clock. Think of Joshua standing before the Jordan River in Joshua 3. The waters didn't part until the priests stepped into the flood, their feet touching the current in faith. Your certainty doesn't precede your step, it follows it. Your 3 steps, writing your goal, reaching out, praying daily, are your feet in the Jordan, your act of faith that triggers the miraculous. The angels are ensuring the waters will part, but they need your movement to begin. Now let's explore the transformative reach of your authority. When you step through this door, you're not just claiming power for yourself, you're unleashing it for others. Your life becomes a conduit for God's grace, a channel through which His love and justice flow into a thirsty world. Imagine a single ray of sunlight piercing a clouded sky, warming hearts that have grown cold. Your obedience is that ray, touching lives in ways you may never fully see. Consider Daniel, a factory worker from Michigan, who at 48 felt his life lacked meaning. He sensed a call to mentor boys without fathers in his neighborhood. With no experience, he started hosting weekly basketball games, sharing life lessons between shots. One boy, Marcus, found stability through Daniel's guidance and is now a college student studying to become a teacher. Daniel's small act of obedience radiated power, transforming a life and a legacy. Your obedience will do the same. The angels are aligning divine appointments. People who need your wisdom, communities that need your voice, but they await your yes to unleash this power. If this message is kindling a holy spark in your spirit, if you feel the angels stirring the embers of your divine authority, declare it now. Type, "I wield heaven's power" in the comments below. This is more than words. It's a prophetic act, a signal to heaven that you're ready to embrace the scepter of your calling. By sharing this declaration, you're joining a global tribe of chosen ones, each wielding their unique authority in God's kingdom. Your voice is a rallying cry, inspiring others to claim their own power. Let's dispel the myth of isolation that shadows your thoughts. You might feel like you're standing alone at this door, the only one grappling with these doubts, the only one sensing this call. But you're part of a divine symphony, a chorus of chosen ones rising across the earth. Psalm 68:11 proclaims, "The Lord announces the word, and the women who proclaim it are a mighty throng." You are not solitary. You are surrounded by a mighty throng, souls from every corner of the globe who are answering heaven's call in this hour. The angels are weaving a network of purpose, connecting you with others who share your vision. Your 3 steps, writing that goal, reaching out, praying daily, are not lone acts. They're notes in this symphony, harmonizing with the steps of others to create a melody that shifts the spiritual atmosphere. Now imagine the ripple of your influence. This door doesn't just lead to personal triumph, it leads to collective transformation. Your obedience becomes a cornerstone, a foundation upon which others build their faith. Think of Nehemiah, who rebuilt Jerusalem's walls despite opposition. Nehemiah 2:18 records his rallying cry, "Let us start rebuilding." His vision wasn't just for himself, it was for a nation. Your vision is the same. Your 3 steps are your bricks, laying the foundation for a legacy that restores hope, rebuilds families, and renews communities. The angels are delivering the mortar, divine favor, supernatural resources, eternal purpose. But they need your hands to lay the stones. Let's address the fear of exposure that lingers in your mind. You might be thinking, what if stepping out reveals my flaws? What if others see my imperfections? But your flaws are not your downfall, they are your distinction. Jesus himself chose disciples who were flawed. Peter's impulsiveness, Thomas's doubt, Matthew's past as a tax collector. John 15:16 says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit." Your imperfections are the soil where God's fruit grows richest. Your 3 steps are your offering, imperfect but holy, and the angels are ensuring they bear fruit that lasts. As you stand before this door, its light a divine embrace. Hear the angel's anthem. Feel the weight of your authority. Sense the urgency of this hour. Your name was called in heaven, not as a question, but as a command. The angels have been released, not to watch you hesitate, but to empower your advance. Your fears are not your captors. They are your catalysts, launching you into the power you were born to wield. Those 3 steps are your pathway, simple yet sovereign, guiding you from doubt to dominion. The choice is yours, but the moment is fleeting. Heaven is watching, and your next move will determine whether you seize the scepter of your destiny or remain in the twilight of what might have been.